Welcome to Module 15. In Module 15, we're going to talk about confirm. We're going to talk about how to finish this problem-solving process up, finally, at long last. So our objectives, we want you to follow through on implementing a solution to a problem. We want to capture, record, and monitor the results of that solution. We want to develop key performance indicators to effectively track and monitor a work process. We want to update our standardized work. We want to train the operators using that standardized work to achieve the defined standard. We want to reflect on our experience with the problem-solving process, and we want to assess the future needs of people participating on the team. So we're going to start with just an overview of the confirm stage. Then we'll talk about following through and implementing and capturing results, developing some key performance indicator information, updating the standardized work, and then a couple of reflection methods to get you through this. As a reminder, in the C4 process, here's where we are. We've been through the first 8 stages, really, and the 9th stage is kind of a blend between countermeasures and confirm, because we can't really complete a countermeasure until we have that new process documented as a standardized work, and we got to be able to teach people how to do that before we can really effectively track results and get good data. So the confirm stage is really focused on tracking those results and then reflecting. As I've mentioned several times, to me, the problem-solving process is a whole lot less about the solution and a whole lot more about the learning that goes along with that. We want to build these kind of thinking skills in our workforce. So let's get into this overview. We've got 3 primary stages for confirm: standardize, record and track results, reflect, recognize, and celebrate. We're going to go through each one individually. So with standardize, what we need to talk about doing is recognizing that the product of every problem-solving process, every C4, every A3, every whatever you're going to document it on, the product has to include a change to the standardized work. If you're making any changes at all to solve that problem, you've got to update that in the standardized work. And then we got to teach that new standard using effective job instruction training techniques. So if you want to review those, again, we covered those in Module 8 very briefly. We want to enforce the discipline required by that new standard. So we're going to give it the attention and repetition that it really needs. That's the only way we can get consistent performance of the work, and the consistency in the performance of the work is the only way we can really get good data. Remember, our standardized work charts consisted at this stage of the game. We're not really doing the analysis anymore. Now we're doing what if, and we're doing here's our future path. So our work balance chart might start off with the different functions that we have to perform. And so if this was the before stage, after we solve the problem, this might be the after stage. And so we've got to be able to indicate what each one of these steps are. So each one of those colored blocks, the green and the red blocks, and the time that they take, each one of those needs to be captured in a set of standardized work. We'll do that on the job breakdown sheet by either indicating those as major steps or key points of that major step. Now, keep in mind that a general guide to keep this relatively simple is that a good job breakdown sheet should really only have about 7 major steps. The key points you might have several sub key point steps under that, under each one of those major steps, but we want to kind of organize it so we get big chunks and then a couple of key things underneath each one of those big chunks, and then identify the reasons why they're key points. So that's effective in teaching. Now, some folks add a 4th column. In this case, it's safety. Others, they might add training aids or things like that. But this document is supposed to work with the operation work standard sheet to teach people how to do it. Now, the operation work standard sheet, you'll see in the operational elements column, that should be the same as the major steps. The key points should be the same as the key points. But over on the right in the visual box, that's where we're going to put some pictures, preferably hand drawings, but most folks just go with photographs to highlight what's really important about that. Just a quick reminder, when we're teaching somebody, we get these 4 steps for job instruction. It's prepare, present, perform, and progress. Again, Module 8 tells you exactly what goes on, but with the prep part, we got to have all the documentation done, and then we got to prepare that team member to be properly trained. Given the full context of what's going on, that's the prepare part. The presentation is they watch you do the work. You're going to do it at full speed, then you're going to do it again walking through each step, and you'll do that a couple of times until they're ready to try it themselves. The perform stage starts when they run the process. They do it all without stopping, without interruption one time. Then they stop and we give them feedback. Then they do it again, explaining step by step, and they do it again and they do it again until they can achieve the standard. If we really want to make sure that they understand this and know this, then we're going to bring somebody else in, and that progress part is we're going to have them teach somebody else how to do it. So we share that knowledge, and we're confident if you know it well enough to teach it to somebody else, that's a good way to know that we can remember this. So 4 key steps for job instruction. Next up, we're going to talk about record and track results.